Hi guys, welcome. This is a lot of fun. This is one of my first times ever going live. I'm super excited. So just to give a little bit of an intro, my name's Eliyahu Rappaport, and I kind of decided to do this because I have Sundays off. And as a business owner, my entire week, 24/6, because Sabbath is an off day, and it's a day that's really focused on spirituality for me, but pretty much 24/6, my entire world is only about work. Even if I have a day off, I'm always thinking about, what's the next business opportunity? What do I do? How do I take care of this deal? And so forth. So my days are 24/6 all the time thinking about work. And I'm thinking, it's a lot more important to be spiritual. And spirituality does have a tremendous part in my life. And I was just thinking, what can I do? What can I do to focus more on spirituality? And I said, you know what? I love a big part of spirituality is inspiring other people. It's also about sharing, learning with others. It's not only about learning things for yourself. And so I thought this would be an exciting opportunity for me also to encourage me to do this more often, 10 minutes a day, hopefully, God willing, just dive in also into myself, but also into holy books of specifically I'm Jewish, so Judaism, and talk about, some takeaways from there and just share it with everybody. And I think it's an opportunity, like the goal of this, I guess, of these videos isn't about me or me teaching anything, but it's more about just sharing, openly kind of some of the challenges that, as a person, I think we all go through different types of challenges. And I think the relationship internally within yourself and also the relationship between man or women and God, right, is something that is such a powerful driving force in our lives. And so I thought it'd be a fun thing to do and also a meaningful thing to do to just open up and kind of learn things together. It really super encourage people to leave comments. This isn't about likes or comments or people watching. It's really about, I guess, reaching a certain level of vulnerability and willingness to just share the things that inspire and motivate me to do things in life and to grow and pursue my purpose and meaning in this world. And so, yeah, here I am. We're starting off our first live. Okay. We're actually, the book I'm going to be starting with is a book that talks about confidence, about, I think, today's world, self-confidence and having kind of that sense of purpose, of understanding of who we are with confidence is something that's really, really meaningful and really hard to come by. I think for the most part, we live in this digital world. Here I am on the digital YouTube live setting, right? And I'm going to talk about how we perceive each other, one another. And I think there's this imposter syndrome a lot of times when we're in the professional life, but also socially. There's so many different senses of confidence, maybe people we look up to and make us feel a certain way, or maybe, when we don't feel confident enough to pursue something, or we're scared, of how people will react or how we'll be perceived by other people. And so one of the pillars of a person's identity has to do and is tied to their self-confidence. And so there's an amazing book called Shara Bitachon. It's this book. It's called The Gate of Confidence. And The Gate of Confidence really talks about and reflects man's confidence in God and how everything derives from there. And so without further ado, we'll start talking about the book. First of all, shout out to a wonderful woman called Shina Dvora, who actually introduced me to the book. There's a famous quote by the sages, by sages saying, Jewish sages saying, any person who says something on behalf of the person who said it, right, who gives credit, basically gives credit to the person who said something, brings redemption closer to the world. And because of the reason why is there's a sense of, and to an extent that people always want to take credit to themselves, but recognizing the fact that there is a wonderful woman called Shira Dvora. I'm not sure if she wants me to say her last name, so I won't. But she introduced me to this book, and I have tremendous appreciation for it, since it is a very life-changing book and a very meaningful book. It talks about basic things that we all feel like we know, but it really doesn't resonate with us until we actually take a little bit more time to process it. So without further ado, we'll jump into this book. This book was written by a rabbi called Rabbi Ibn Pekuda. Rabbi Ibn Pekuda was a rabbi that lived almost 1,000 years ago, more or less the time of Maimonides and the Ramban. And when he wrote this book, he wrote it as a chapter of part of a greater book called Chovat Levavot, the duties of the heart. And it really talks about the virtues and the responsibilities of a person towards God and how to worship God with someone's heart, but also the right way, with the right virtues. And just like there's a technical way of, different commandments, different obligations a man has towards God, towards his fellow men, and so forth, there is also the virtuous way of doing it. So more than, just having to do what you got to do in life, it's about those intrinsics, right, that really give you a lot more fulfillment when you pursue them with a little bit more meaning. And so without further ado, Shara Bitachon, right here, is the fourth chapter of Rabbi Bechaya Ibn Pekuda's book, The Duties of the Heart, and it's called Shara Bitachon, the Gate of Confidence. And we'll start off by reading, by understanding how the book is built. The book is built out of, we'll say, 7 different chapters and an introduction. So introduction, it's pretty much 8. The introduction comes and talks about the responsibilities or the significance of having confidence in God, in God alone, not having confidence in anybody else or anything else, right? But it's also to recognize that our confidence really derives from God. So the first chapter is, what is confidence? The second chapter is actually, what are the things that bring us to be more confident or creates confidence in other beings, other creatures of the world, other beings of the world. And the third thing is kind of the detailed understanding of why we're obligated to have specific confidence only in God. The fourth thing is, what should we use our confidence for? How should we utilize our confidence in life? And the fifth chapter is when, wow, that's interesting, the distinctions between a person who pursues wealth or his job or his, his profession with confidence, to a person who pursues his profession or his wealth or, his work without confidence. The sixth thing is the reasons why we should stay away from people, or we should push away, right? The concept of first working, attaining wealth, and then gaining confidence. And the seventh thing is, what are the things that make people lose their confidence in God? And the 10 different steps or stages of reaching that confidence. And so, without further ado, let's dive in to the book. The fourth it's actually the fourth chapter of the book, as I said. And in this book, it's the name of the book is B'bitachon Elokim Barach Levado, and we'll really go from Hebrew to English all the time. So B'bitachon Elokim Barach Levado is to have confidence only in God Himself and nothing else, right? Amar Mechaber. So the person putting the book together wrote, right? The publisher, the writer says, right? Because up until now we spoke about the obligations or responsibility of worshiping God, okay, or receiving God's commandments. I saw it right to bring right after the chapters that talked about the obligations, right? The thing or the things that are most important, okay, to actually worship God. And that is to have total confidence, total and ultimate confidence in God alone. Because there's such great benefits. A person who has confidence in God, the Torah is actually the spiritual or the religious obligations of a person, and the worldly things. So Binyan Torah is actually the spiritual, and Binyan Olam is the physical. And so the confidence in God is absolutely tremendously important, right? In both personal spirituality and personal professional success. because we're coming up to the 10 minutes, I do want to keep it at 10 minutes. We'll wrap it up by saying I'm excited to have you guys tune in, and or no one tune in. I'm excited. And that has any questions, comments on the bottom. I'm super psyched to kind of share this journey together. Yeah, all the best.